Hello, Aries, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of February 8th through the 14th. Hope you're making it through the start of the new year wonderfully. During that time, we have a waning gibbous moon. See if I can get my mouth working today. A waning gibbous from the 8th and the 9th. And that's a good time of self-reflection and rebirth, a good time to make positive changes, get rid of bad habits and negative thinking. So we're still kind of carrying that energy through from the week prior. And then we do have the last quarter moon that comes in on the 10th this week. And the last quarter is a good time for realization of our dreams, kind of wrapping up those projects that we started on the new moon. We're going to start to kind of inwardly reflect on where we've been the last few weeks, what we've been doing, kind of wrap things up and just get rid of negativity and just try to think positively as we start to move into the waning crescent and then of course the new moon, which is a fresh start. So keep all of those moon energies in mind. It's a lot going on for the week, but keep those in mind as we are moving through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Aries. So as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message is luck is on your side. All right, let's see what the Aries Collective has going on. How lucky you guys will be for this week. I know last week was a big week for luck for so many of the signs. It's kind of uncanny sometimes when those readings come together like that for me, and I think, wow, is like everybody going to be lucky on that week? So that was very interesting, and hopefully you were very lucky last week, and let's just let that continue for you this week as well. All right, as I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder is that you do try to take time to meditate this week. Go within, still yourself, quiet your mind. This goes along with the moon energy that we have right now. And if meditation isn't something that you practice, it's just a really good thing to try to start, even if it's just a few minutes a day, or if you can sneak in an hour here and there, whenever you can. Some of us have more time than others, but try to work meditation into your schedule, and it gives you that time to do that self-reflection and just really kind of think about where you are and where you want to be headed, what you're trying to accomplish and what we're doing. It's just, a little more self-awareness. So that is my fun weekly reminder for today. All right, let's get into this reading. February 8th through the 14th. Luck is on your side, Aries. Your present energy right now is the Magician. Talk about luck. I mean, there's the Magician asking you, what is it that you want to do? Where do you want to go, Aries? Here we are. Like I said, we're finishing up the current cycle that we're on, or getting there. We're kind of winding things down. And so now it's time for us to reflect on what is the next steps that we want to make, in what areas, which element will we choose to make improvement, to tweak, to totally change in some cases, or to kind of keep the same. It just depends on what your energy is. But here's the Magician asking you which element you would like to work on in the next coming cycle. Your current situation right now is the Page of Cups. So you're definitely feeling very lighthearted. You definitely got a sense of humor. You're open to things emotionally. You're open to whatever's going on in the world, but you're definitely taking everything coming at you with a grain of salt right now, which is great. The world can get kind of heavy. I feel like it's been that way. And just maintaining, if you can maintain the lightness, everyone around you really appreciates it. With a lot of really kind of heavy, intense things going on, we do need people around us that are able to kind of keep the humor going, keep us all kind of a little more lighthearted maybe than sometimes the world tends to be. At the root of your situation is the Temperance card. So you're feeling very, very balanced this week. I love this. Luck is on your side. You're feeling super balanced. You've got the Magician asking you what you'd like to manifest. So I love this. And you're keeping your sense of humor. Just what a nice place to be in, Aries. I love everything about this reading so far. In your recent past, this looks like you've had some kind of wrap up, some kind of something that you've had to forge through and push ahead. And that could be why. I mean, you might be feeling light because you've just come out of something where you have finished a project, or you've had some kind of final push on something where you're done with it. And sometimes, we're just in that middle period where we are evaluating, like, I've finished this project, what am I going to do next? And we take that time to ask, and that can be a light time because it's not like you have as much going on as usual. You might just kind of be in between things and kind of just looking around the universe like, okay, what do I want to do next? So great place to be in. What is on your mind this week? Looks like you're thinking Page of Swords. So, what's on your mind is maybe new ideas coming to you, new ways of thinking. This could be new ways of communicating. It could be that maybe it's new for you to have that sense of humor and to be able to communicate that to others. Maybe life has been a little intense lately and it's just time for you to relax a little bit and again edge into this younger energy. Our pages are like our youth of the deck, and it could be that you're surrounding yourself with youth. It could be that your job situation, could be your family situation, that you might have kids around you. But this and that kind of energy, a lot of times when we see a lot of pages, it can be kind of that youthful energy, and that can be very, very contagious. Our kids, if you're my age, I mean, I have adult children now, they just give off, I love the energy they give off. We go back and forth, the world is so different for them. But I learned so much from them all the time, just talking with them. The conversations that we get into could be very, very intense, and I just love their energy and I love their view on the world. It may be very different from mine, but I love to hear, things from their perspective and where they're coming from. What is just ahead of you this week is the Lovers card, just more positivity for you. So, if all this is going on, and while you're taking a break, and while you're having a sense of humor and a new way of communicating and starting to manifest something new, now we're going to move towards and think about your relationship. This is probably a romantic relationship, although it can be a friendship that you're talking about, but probably romance. And if it's a new relationship for you, you're going to put that kind of energy into it and thought, and maybe you're going to manifest something there. If it's an older relationship that's been around for a while, you might just want to inject some new energy into that. So it's something that's going along through your week. It's like what you're moving towards this week, and I really like that. I mean, I think um, you know, you're ending something and moving towards something else. We've got a few major arcana now on the table, which tells me this is like a good transformation for you. And again, luck is on your side. Hopefully, you're lucky in love this week. In your advice position is the Ace of Swords. So maybe this is the element that you do choose. If you've got this Page of Swords, maybe the Ace of Swords is about communicating in a new way in this relationship. It could be that maybe you're not the most romantic person, but you're really going to try your hand at that and try to be more romantic. I'm just using that as an example. Maybe it's hard for you to be open and just be super vulnerable, and that's something new that you're going to try with this partner. You're going to really trust that you can open up and just really open up and be who you are, and let them see who you are. So think about those new ways in which you can apply a new way of thought and communication into your romantic relationship, and go ahead and give that a try that week, this week. Maybe it's something that will be very, very lucky for you. What is beyond your control this week is the Death card. So of course this is some sort of ending, and, I just feel like you're wrapping something up here. I don't see this as a negative at all. I feel like even if you have a new way of communicating, what the death is really just letting go of that old way of being. That maybe if you weren't able to be vulnerable, you're going to let that go and you're going to let that fall away and decide, hey, I actually can be open and vulnerable with this person and open up and let them see into who I really am. So, I don't see that death card there as a positive or as a negative at all. I see it as a positive. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid this week? I hope it's your secret desire is the Wheel of Fortune. Again, luck is on your side. If you are a gambler, if you and like to enter a contest, or you see a contest that you can enter, a lot of times places have fundraisers where they'll have a giveaway or something, and they're raising funds for something. Go ahead and enter that this week. I feel like you're very lucky, and here you are with the Wheel of Fortune. I hope it's your secret desire to maintain that luck, and just let that get into your mind. Just what if you wake up every morning and think, I am so lucky? Count your blessings literally, but walk around all day thinking, I am so lucky. And if you can manifest, if you can get that feeling going that you're lucky, it manifests into luck happening. So that's the really cool thing about how that works, is if you can get yourself there into really thinking, I am so lucky. I'm lucky. You might just wake up saying that every day. You'll be amazed at the things that come your way in which it comes to fruition that you are lucky. What is your outcome this week? is the Five of Cups. So there might be some sort of disappointment that comes your way, something that, maybe it's not how you thought things might work out. It could be that you're disappointed because you didn't win $1 million, but that, is there a lesson in that? Probably. And the lesson is to count your blessings, count the other ways in which you are lucky. Maybe it isn't monetary, but you might be looking around and thinking, you're so lucky and blessed with your health and your family and the friends that you have around you. So look around and make sure that because in this kind of disappointment here, there are cups behind you. You need to turn around and acknowledge those, not worry so much about the things that are knocked over in front of you. All right, let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck for Aries, February 8th through 14th. Also, happy Valentine's Day. And maybe that's why that Lover's card is appearing. I totally forgot about that till I thought about the date again. But, maybe have a fun date this week. Don't let that be disappointing for you. All right, final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Do what you love. Do what you love. That's always a lucky thing to do, right? Figure out what is it that you love and do that thing. And I think it's funny. I picked up this deck and look, it almost looks like those little candy hearts on the front. So we'll give this a shuffle. What does Aries need to do in the way of self-care this week? Aries, February 8th through the 14th. Self-care for Aries this week. All right. And the card that comes up to you is the card that says, listen. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. And so maybe there's someone, and maybe in your relationship, where you do need to be someone that listens. Again, I was using being vulnerable as an example, but maybe the new way of communication for you is not to talk so much, but maybe to listen and listen to, this could be your partner that really just needs to be heard right now, and go ahead and be that person. You're very lucky this week. I love that for you, Aries. If you are comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know in the ways that you are lucky. I'd be very curious to hear if any of you had some lucky things happen to you this week. Also, if you like my reading style, Aries, hitting that like and subscribe button is the most lucky thing for me, and I appreciate that so much. And it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see where this story goes. So thanks so much, Aries. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.